Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here from Hurricane Creek Farms. Got a bit of an overcast morning, or maybe even all day here in West Tennessee. But got a bunch of things to do today. No just huge projects on the to-do list, but a lot of odds and ends, routine chores. I think we're going to try to get some hay moved, some round hay. Maybe kind of the biggest or most timely thing we're going to do, but I don't know what all we're going to get into. But as always, remind you, give the video a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate that. Appreciate you subscribing, but that's enough talk. Let's get after it. Okay, so starting this morning, much like we do every morning for most of the year, checking on these stocker steers, giving them a little feed. Most of them were here this morning. There's a few that just have not cooperated all year as far as coming to feed, which is frustrating to say the least. We haven't had that big of an issue with that in years past, where 99% of them every day would come up. But I think there's all but 10 or 12 of them here this morning. 3 weeks till they sell. I was just looking at the calendar. I say 3 weeks, 7 weeks. I don't know where I got 3 from. 7 weeks till they sell. So time with them is starting to draw near to the end. But got them checked out. We got to put out a bag of mineral. Then we're headed back to the house. A feed truck came this week. We were getting low on that bin, so we had taken it to the house, brought it back down here yesterday. But they also put a little feed in the creek feeder, so we're gonna put it out in the pasture for those spring-born calves that we're getting ready to wean here probably in just about another month. And trying to think what else. Oh, need to move some hay. We're getting real close on the cow herds, having to start feeding some hay. Just with it's been so dry, and then with the army worm damage we had, yeah, we're going to be feeding hay in October this year, which not too uncommon to be feeding hay maybe by the end of October, but early October we'd rather not be doing that. See, grass is still pretty decent here. We will probably have to give them some hay at some point. Like I say, we have another 7 weeks with them. Got one curious one right here, but yeah, I got to get all that stuff done, and I don't know, a few other odds and ends that are going to pop up, no doubt. But you can see it is overcast. We did get a little rain yesterday, about 1/4 inch, which was nice. We would like to have had 1 1/4 inches, but that would have helped these ponds. But anyway, we're thankful for what we did get. That should be enough, and very timely on that grass we planted less than a week ago now, getting it up. So we'll take a look out there. Probably not going to be able to see too much happening just yet, but in some of those wetter spots where it was already going to be coming up, maybe able to start to see evidence of some grass there. But it's enough talking. Let's move on. Yeah, what are you boys doing? Looking at every last crumb up. Don't be coughing now. Gonna make you put a mask on. Check. So feeder's not quite out, but gonna put some more in. Don't ever like for them to run out. Still feeding the VitaFirm Heat. It's which we're kind of at that weird time of year in the south, and I think we even talked about last week in the video where, yeah, I guess about 9 days ago was the first day of fall, and oh, it was nice. We were having temperatures in the 50s at night, and now last night I think the low was like 68. So getting up well into the 80s every day. So still just a little bit of heat stress on these animals at those temperatures. We're about out of that mineral anyway, but get this mineral put out and then head on up the road. Finally made it back home. So our next task, again, like I said, the feed truck came this week. Yeah, got a little feed there in the creep feeder. We're going to, again, get this moved out where the calves can start getting a little feed, kind of in preparation for weaning. What we're gonna do before we move it, you see on this side, you got these kind of wire panels zip tied up there, kind of redneck engineered. That's because, see on this side we don't. See where the paint is worn thin there. Cows come up here, stick their heads sideways, and reach over there and eat the feed that comes out. You look at that, you wouldn't think they'd be able to do it. Well, they do. They find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So we're gonna find couple more sections of panel. Do the same thing over here before we move it. Got to get the disc off the tractor so we can hook onto this, move it out there where the calves can access it. The horses decided to come up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give them a little feed. They'll come on in here. Oh, come on. Get them fed. They're not being very cooperative. The ponies aren't anyway. Y'all going in there. But get them fed and then get back to my creek feeder, getting it situated. There we go. There we go. Y'all are so smart. We found an old panel there. It's kind of bent up, salvaged. We're gonna, you see, just zip tying it across there. Gonna get that secured the rest of the way. And then they won't be able to stick their head through there. So they'll still come up here. They get up like down on their knees and kind of reach under there, but they can't actually get into the feeder itself. They'll be scavenging for anything the calves drop. But yeah, have that modified and we'll get it moved. Nothing fancy at all, but it does the job we need it to do. And that is what ultimately matters. All right, let's get this thing filled up for transport. Put that there. Hold it in place. Do the same thing over here. We get the disc off the tractor, just pulled it out here where it should be out of the way, relatively speaking. Get it off here. Gonna have to flip the drawbar back over where it's a little lower to hook up to the creek feeder and get that moved. Okay, so we flipped that drawbar around for the disc and it up a little higher. So now we're gonna pull that pin, flip it back around where it's a little better for moving this thing. Don't hit the camera. Something we didn't video the other night, I guess it was Tuesday. My dad and my brother spent all day in the hayfield. Mainly we're rolling hay, but we did square bale a little. Put up just a few bales. I think we ended up with right at 60. My brother got some as well. Gonna need a fair bit more hay for the horses this winter, but got a little done. We were hauling hay and getting it stacked in the barn late Tuesday night, but they had run into a little trouble. Like I say, we just ended up rolling most of it, but we're gonna go down there. Actually, the cows are, you can probably see her already right there about where we're going, but threw a bag of mineral in here as well. Put a bag out last night, they were completely out, so we'll go ahead and put another one out. By putting those in there, it just keeps the cows or anything from being able to pick it up. I'll grab that one. Yeah, so they can't lift it up. It stops it. Put this other side down, but you know, I thought of a really good dad joke because I was backing this thing in here. So today is October the 1st. You know, things always start to get a little creepy around Halloween in October. So get it? Creek feeder. Creepy. You got it. I feel relatively proud of myself for that one. Dad jokes. About a half dozen or so of the cows were in here, and I knew they were going to try to come in the gate and get on the way, so I ran them back out of there through those gates, but let them back in here. One reason I like to put the creek feeder there, same reason the mineral feeder's there. They can get in this area when they're in either of these two pastures, or actually when they're out there in the creek bottom, which of course creek bottom we just planted, so they won't be out there grazing until maybe next spring, next fall. But we'll see if these calves come in here and know what to do with that feeder. We'd been putting just a little feed in it when it was in the other pasture, just a couple of bucketfuls at a time, and a few of them had kind of figured it out, saw what it was, so they'll definitely get more interested in it over these next few days. See all these girls over there? They're checking it out. They're disappointed that we attached those panels there, those little wire panels to keep them from being able to get in. So, sorry ladies. Y'all just have to wait till we're actually feeding y'all to eat. But, of course, none of the calves won't come in here while I'm standing here. Oh yeah, 508 there, getting a little mineral. So calves hadn't quite decided to come in there yet, but they will. So we like to do that because we're gonna wean them roughly another month. And basically we time it, you know, we're one, their age is correct, but also we'll wean them here for 2 or 3 weeks, just where they're on the other side of the fence from the moms. Then we'll move them to the other farm where the stocker steers are, but we'll want to do that after the stocker steers are gone, so we kind of time it to where that works out. But going ahead and get this feed out, because of course right now they're eating grass, grazing, and nursing their mothers. We're about to, of course, take the mothers away from them, and this will allow them to go ahead and start, you know, adjusting, having a little feed in their diet. Because all winter long it'll be hay, and you know, we'll give them a little feed every day. They won't have free choice feed all winter. We just don't like to do it like that. That can get a little expensive too. But for right now, they do have free choice to get the creek feeder. But we're gonna get the bale spear put on the back, the forks put on the front. Get ready to move just a little hay. Probably gonna go ahead and put out a couple of rolls of old hay, some of last year's hay for the cows. There's still grass, but they'll no doubt start eating it. You know, even though they don't necessarily have to have hay yet, but it'll slow down their pasture consumption as well. So they'll make the pastures last a little longer. We're getting ready to go out of town for a couple of days. I don't believe they're going to get in a situation where we can have anything to eat, but one less thing for us to have to worry about, or for my dad or brother to have to worry about while we're gone. Everybody should be pretty well content. Here at my parents' house now, they had rolled this. It's basically some of their horse pasture. Just kind of mixed grass hay, but it got pretty big. They don't really graze it very hard, so thought it would make good cow hay. So I think we got, I don't know, 17, 18 rolls, 16, something like that. Where you get these moved, they can't get on this side of the pasture with the truck and trailer, so moving everything up the other side. Then we're gonna bring the trailer down here with the hay express trailer, get these moved back to the house. Kaylin came and got me, gave me a ride, went and got the truck and trailer, and so now we're going to get loaded. You have to kind of pick them up at an angle like that. Get them on there. Load them just like that. Probably ought to put it in reverse. There we go. Easy as that. So made a couple of trips now, got those unloaded, getting these off here, and of course we've used this trailer before and videoed it, but if you haven't seen those, one of the nice things about it is that they do individually dump off just by hand. You don't have to have another tractor. See if we can kind of show you how that works. Okay, easy as that right there. There's 7 more, so obviously we'll load that trailer one more time. That'll leave 2, which I'm not sure. What I'm thinking is we could bring 2 home just with the tractor, because we've got to bring the tractor home anyway. But I think it's only 2 o'clock. we'll move that load. Then may take the tractor just up the road and haul some from another farm. And I'll just swing back by there at some point with the truck and use the bale bed to grab them last two. So we've moved up the road now to from my dad's house, my parents' house, to the farm that my dad and uncle own. Bermuda grass on this place. Got some old hay. This hay is, I'd say we were gonna get some of last year's hay. This may actually be 2019 hay, but it was good quality hay when it was baled, but it's obviously just been sitting here stacked in tree line for a while. Some of it looks better than other bales, but kind of at that funny time of year when there's still grass, they've still got grazing, but pasture's getting a little short. If you put hay out, they will eat it. So if you go ahead and put out some of your best hay, they'll definitely devour it. So we'll probably put a few of these rolls out today, you know, where they can eat on it if they want to. They don't have to. And a lot of times you're surprised at how much of it they eat. You know, in years past, it never fails. You know, we always put out some real old, just what we think is just junk hay, ditch hay, in our ditches to help just control the, you know, erosion and slow down some of those issues. And it never fails. You know, they'll have at least some of those rolls. They'll go right to them and immediately start eating them. They'll eat them up. May not eat them, you know, instead of the newer rolls, but, and then even during the summer, you know, they may have had one that they didn't eat the last winter. All of a sudden you look out one day in the middle of summer and they just decided to eat one of them up. So I don't know, sometimes you can't explain their eating habits or choices in hay, but get some of this older hay. I mean, something needs to be done with it anyway. Even if they don't eat it, we can do something like that with it, but we'll put a little out just so it's there if they want it. If they don't, that's fine too. One of probably the biggest challenges with this old hay is not just whether or not the cows will eat it, but it's getting it off the trailer. Like we were talking earlier, you don't need a tractor to get them off. Well, for obvious reasons, you know, with these flattening out, really squatting in many cases, they don't roll off there as well. The first two did, but you can see, you may be able to appreciate, we kind of cheated. Get the truck off the side of the driveway where everything's already leaning that way. But especially that one on the front, I don't know. So this might get entertaining. Not too bad on that one. This first one's the one I was always the most worried about. They actually came off there much easier than I expected. So I'm gonna make one more load with some of that old hay like that. That may be it. You see clouding up a bit. Radar, there's some scattered stuff kind of building up coming this way, but it looks about like it has for the last 2 or 3 months, where it looks like, yeah, it could rain, you know. One of those cells comes over, you know, hits you directly. Heck, it might drop an inch plus, but if history is any indicator of these last couple of months, we might get a sprinkle at the most. Quick recap of what we have accomplished. Moved 3 loads, so 15 rolls from my parents' house. Moved 10 rolls, 2 loads, that old hay. That means we still have 2 rolls at my parents' house. We're just gonna run up there in the truck. Maybe not right now, maybe wait and do that after I go get the tractor and get it home, and we'll bring a couple more rolls of that old hay home with us, just because once we bring the tractor. My wife has given me a ride a couple of times today already, so I think what I'm gonna do is just changing my running clothes. It's about 2.5 to 3 miles that field, just jog up there. I need to exercise anyway. Jump on that tractor and bring it home. And then we can also we're gonna get this newer hay stacked in the barn, put out a few rolls of this old hay so they can be munching on it if they choose to do so, which they will. Feel pretty confident. Do a couple other things, but let's go get changed. We'll head up the road on foot. About like I figured, be right at 3 miles by the time I get to the tractor. This hay's getting about ready to cook the last time on this farm, but I also see we might get a little rain, so that'll be fine too. We can hold off for like an hour until I get that hay stacked. That'd be cool, but Get on the tractor here. Keep on rolling. Made it back home. Got hay there, sheeted, picked up a ring as well because we don't have any hay feeders or hay rings out here in the pasture. But looks like it's gonna come in a little bit of a shower right now. So rain almost held off until we were done, but I think we're just gonna end up putting out 4 rolls. So we'll put these 2 out, go grab 2 more, and then it'll basically be just need to get the hay stacked in the barn. It's up there, so we'll see. I don't know. I hadn't looked at the radar, but I don't know. It kind of looks like it might actually rain for just a little while this go around, other than the off-field sprinkles we had earlier. So the rain stopped. It was pretty short-lived. Got 4 rolls of hay out. Yeah. So I was pulling that hay out of those weeds and just looking at it, I was like, my gosh. No animal will want to eat this stuff, and they are acting like it's the greatest thing ever. But that's predictable. You can see, I mean, there's not an enormous amount of grass, but it ain't like these pastures are devoid of any grazing. So it's just something different, something new. Come February, March, you know, April especially, end of hay feeding, we'll be putting out, you know, when they save some of that last that we rolled, the best looking stored in the barn, and they'll won't even hardly want to look at it because they're so ready for some green grass. But I don't know, it's just, I guess variety is the spice of life for both us and them. They hadn't had any hay in several months, so they're ready to eat some hay. I'll try to stick this up here and kind of show you how we're stacking it in the barn. I don't know how much you'll be able to see. First time I've ever stacked hay like this in a barn, so you have to bear with me. From what I've seen, this seems to be kind of the most efficient means with which to do it, so that when you come to stacking it, when they're on their ends like that, you can stack on top of it without having a pyramid it, you know, kind of from the sides. You can stack all the way to the edges, even on your next row. Try to put that quite tight in there. So scoot over just a little bit. Yeah. Doesn't look half bad. Of course, as we go up higher, we see if they actually are stable. That'll be the real test. You definitely go 1 bale higher, maybe 2 as you get over here towards the middle. I don't know, we're not gonna get too crazy with it, but we'll get these, what, 15 or so that we've got here, this good new hay that was just baled this week, and well, they'll be out of the weather all winter long until we get ready to feed them. All right, the hay is in the barn. Literally. And for this video, the hay is going to be figuratively in the barn. I think that's about all we're going to get done today. It's kind of seems like it's going to set into rain now. You see out there, this red rock sets up hard as concrete when it's dry, but when it gets wet, it gets very sticky. I'll probably have to put a load of limestone down out there on top of that stuff. But anyway, you see what we did there, stacking. I think in the middle, we may stack them just regular, not standing on their end. Could probably do 4 or 5 across there. That'd put, what, 15 or 16 in each stack. I don't know, we'll see. I just want it to be sturdy. I don't want it to fall just because it'll make a mess. I don't want it to fall just because that could be a hazard. But we'll experiment with that. Probably really even over just the next few years, try to figure out how the best way, most you know, what economical way to use our space. But notice too, I don't know if you can tell how to zoom in on this thing. Zoom. Yeah, I don't know how to zoom in. But that right there is an enormous wasp nest. Quite impressive. But anyway, had 2 more rolls there at my parents' house. We wanted to move. We were gonna run up there and get them with the truck, just the bale bed. And it's rained just enough that I don't wanna get out there slick and tear up the pasture at all. So we'll get those some other time. Let it dry up a little bit, but real good chance of rain again tomorrow, so we'll take it. It's good on that grass. But again, we appreciate everybody watching. Keep tuning back in. I know now that it looks like it is we're gonna get some rain. Once it's dry enough, we're gonna get some fertilizer put on that grass we just planted. Probably continue moving some hay when it's dry enough, because we moved, what, 25, count the other 2 that we brought in, 27 rolls today. Man, we'll need a good bit more than that to get us through the winter. Maybe in the hay field if I can get away to help Dad. I guess just that one farm really is what we've got left, or what they've got left to bale. But lots of stuff coming, feeding cows, getting ready to sell stocker steers, that sort of thing. But appreciate everybody watching again, getting long-winded. Come back next time, give it a thumbs up. We appreciate y'all. Eat beef, and God bless.